Hello, my name is Sophia. Today I want to share my story about how I learned English. Learning a new language can be difficult, but it is possible with consistent effort. My journey had many challenges, but it also brought me joy and growth. If you want to improve your English, I hope this story motivates you to take small steps every day. When I moved to New York City, I knew very little English. I could greet people and say a few basic sentences, but I often felt nervous about speaking. One day, I went to a bookstore to find a book in my native language. Instead, I found an English book that looked interesting. I decided to buy it, even though I knew it would be hard to read. At home, I opened the book and tried to understand the story. At first, I struggled because there were many words I didn't know. I kept a dictionary with me and looked up the words I didn't understand. Slowly, I began to understand the sentences. A few days later, I went to a cafe. While waiting in line, I heard two people talking in English. I wanted to join the conversation but felt too shy. Instead, I practiced saying simple sentences in my head. The next time I visited the cafe, I tried something new. I greeted the barista and ordered my coffee in English. It was a short conversation, but it gave me confidence. From that day, I decided to practice speaking English every day. I joined a local language group where people practiced English together. It felt good to meet others who were also learning. We encouraged each other and shared tips. One day, I was sitting in the park when a woman and her child sat near me. The woman started a conversation by asking if I liked the park. I hesitated but decided to reply in English. We talked for a few minutes. My sentences were simple, but she understood me. She smiled and said I was doing well. That conversation showed me that people appreciate effort, even if you make mistakes. After that, I began to push myself more. I started watching English movies with subtitles and listening to podcasts. I tried to use the new words I learned in conversations. Slowly, I noticed that my speaking and listening skills were improving. A few months later, my boss asked me to give a short presentation in English. At first, I felt nervous, but I practiced my speech many times. I wrote it out, read it aloud, and corrected my mistakes. On the day of the presentation, I focused on speaking clearly and confidently. After I finished, my colleagues clapped and told me I did well. My boss also said he noticed my hard work. That moment made me realize that learning English is not about being perfect. It is about being willing to learn, practice, and grow. Learning English changed my life. It gave me new opportunities, helped me meet new people, and allowed me to express myself in a new way. If you are learning English, remember that small steps matter. Practice a little every day, speak whenever you can, and don't worry about making mistakes. The most important thing is to keep going. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it inspires you to continue your journey of learning English.